Good afternoon, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for being here this afternoon. My name is Mike Berry, and I am the Director of Legislative and Community Affairs at the Mass Department of Transportation. We are here this afternoon to wrap up the FY17 round of the Community Transit Grant Program and highlight as one of our success stories the amazing work being done right here in the great city of Peabody. Well, with that, we'll get right into our speaking program, and I'll introduce our first speaker. Astrid Glynn serves as the administrator of the Rail and Transit Division of Mass DOT. Astrid is a seasoned public and private sector professional with a distinguished career that includes service with the state of New York as their Commissioner of Transportation, as well as senior management roles at the former Office of Commonwealth Development and the Mass School Building Authority. So with that, please welcome up our first speaker, Astrid Glynn.
Thank you, Mike, and thank everyone from the Council of Aging for making us feel so welcome here and hosting us this afternoon. The Rail and Transit Division at Massport administers and oversees the Community Transit Grant Program. Now, when most people think of transportation, they think of cars, trains, intercity buses, etc. But at MassDOT, we look at transportation more holistically and work to identify and fill gaps in the transportation system. One of the most often overlooked areas of transportation is local transportation, helping people get around their neighborhoods, their communities, and to the places that they need to be day in and day out. Organizations such as the Peabody Council on Aging and up the road, the Greater Lynn Services, are an important part of the joint state and local effort that provides more transportation options at the local level. Those organizations understand the needs in their areas, and they partner with us through programs like the Community Transit Grants. One of the really unique aspects of this program is that there are 5 different types of vans that a community can apply for, ranging from a 16-passenger van to a 4-passenger van, all of which are accessible. This gives communities like Peabody a lot of flexibility and lets the community design a transportation program that meets the needs of the people that it is serving. Now, it is now my pleasure to introduce to you our fantastic Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito. Among other, hold on, you get to applaud for her for a long time. Among many other initiatives, Lieutenant Governor Polito leads the administration efforts to strengthen municipal and state partnerships. She is incredibly dedicated to that mission and very effective at it. She's a former selectman who also serves as a state representative before becoming Lieutenant Governor. Karen Polito is a longtime advocate of programs that support seniors and individuals with disabilities. She is also a staunch supporter of local transportation programs like the one that we are here to celebrate today. So please join with me in welcoming our Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here in the great city of Peabody, and I'm thrilled to be here with our state delegation, Representative Walsh and Senator Lovely. We work very closely, Governor Baker and I, with our state delegation, and soon we'll be finalizing a state budget, and we appreciate all of your efforts. I also want to acknowledge Eileen Duff, obviously a native of Peabody, who I have the pleasure of serving with on the Governor's Council. Every Wednesday we meet to consider our administration's nominations to our courts, and Eileen Duff is a strong and consistent leader in the organization that vets these candidates to make sure that we appoint the very best to serve in our judicial system. I want to thank Eileen for all of her efforts. And I also want to acknowledge our friends in municipal government. Mayor Betancourt will soon be speaking, saying a few words, and also all of the local elected officials. We thank them for stepping up and serving in this capacity. They are directly accountable to you, our aging seniors here in this community, but also the taxpayers. And no matter where they go in this city, I'm sure you find a way to either thank them or express your concern. They're right there on the front lines, and we appreciate their interest in serving this great community. I also just want to acknowledge that we're standing here in front of your senior center, which I understand is about 25 years old. And thanks to the leadership of Mr. Terigian, who I understand spouse is here today, it took leaders like that to come forward to recognize that senior centers in buildings like this for people in the community to go to socialize, to get a good meal, to contact people in the community to find out what services are available to them to help them live longer and healthier in the home or place where they have connections and ties, to be able to stay in a city like this that has been so good to them growing up. Now, I have the pleasure of growing up in a community in the central part of Massachusetts. It's the town of Shrewsbury. I was a member of the Shrewsbury Board of Selectmen and it was about 20 years ago that I was proud to be able to support a freestanding senior center. And it was a bit controversial at that time to have to convince the taxpayers that this was a worthwhile investment for the community to make. And here we are now in both of our communities 2 decades later, with a senior center obviously serving many, many people in our community, including our veterans, including lifelong members of our community, and helping people stay again in the community which they love so much. So today is another milestone to celebrate for this city and also for our administration in making sure that we're helping senior citizens be able to get to places like the senior center and then be able to get to their appointments for wellness, to get to a grocery store, to get to some other place that's important to them. And that's why it's critical to have a fleet of vehicles that can easily and safely and conveniently help our senior citizens get to where they need to go. So I want to thank you for your leadership. Your Council on Aging Director, Wynn, is to be commended for her leadership in applying for a grant to this state program and putting her best foot forward with the members of the Council on Aging. This is a competitive process, and your application stood out and stood tall amongst all of these applications. This is what I view. I do a lot of work at the community level. It's because I grew up in a community that was good to me growing up and to my family, and I want to make sure that we are building a stronger Commonwealth of Massachusetts through our 351 cities and towns. If we can help local government deliver better services to our kids, to working families, to our seniors, then we will do our part at the state level to make sure that every community provides opportunity. Every community has a safety net, and every community is a great place to live, to either raise a family or to grow gracefully older in our Commonwealth. And if we can do this through every city and town, we will knit together a stronger Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Not from Beacon Hill, but from the grassroots of the cities and towns that comprise the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So the Community Transit Grant Program is part of that safety net. And I'm pleased to say that our administration has programmed $30 million for this program to continue over this 5-year period. And today, we're making an announcement as part of a $10 million announcement round that will assist 27 different organizations with 148 vehicles much like this to provide people with access to the places they need to go. Now today we're here in Peabody to highlight why this program is important to you and how these 6 vehicles will better connect you to other places. And we're pleased to be able to recognize the achievements of Peabody with an award of approximately $283,000 with our state grant, combined with about $70,000 of local funds to be able to provide better transit and connections for the city of Peabody. So congratulations to all of you. want to also recognize that there are a number of communities that have applied, from Dartmouth to Littleton to New Bedford to Randolph to Swansea, and neighbors in Danvers, and to others across our Commonwealth that are taking advantage of this program. But it does all start with leadership. And with a strong mayor and a strong council on aging and a strong city council, you are putting Peabody in the best place possible to take advantage of these additional funds that come from the state to you. And it takes leadership, it takes people who care, it takes people that show up to work every day for the people of Peabody. And that starts with the people that show up at City Hall. I want to thank Ted Betancourt for his incredible leadership in this community. Every time I either talk to him on the phone or I see him in this community, he's happy, he's engaged, he's excited about his work. And you're very fortunate to have a mayor who cares about you. I want to now just ask the mayor if he'd come forward and say a few words, and thank you very much for helping us today.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Good evening to everyone. I want to extend a very warm welcome to our Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito. From our very first conversation when she took office, I just felt she was a very caring, compassionate person who really cared for the city of Peabody. She's been here a number of times, and we're thrilled as a city to welcome you to the city of Peabody. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Thank you. The Lieutenant Governor mentioned our state officials who are here. They're always here. Our State Senator Joan Lovely, State Representative Tom Walsh, and our Governor's Counselor Eileen Duff. I also wanted to mention our city councilors that are here today that are also here all the time for the city of Peabody. I'll just go right down the list. City Councilor Tom Gould, Ward 4 Councilor Ed Charis, Ward 3 Councilor Jim Mitsoulis, Councilor Elijah Ann Manning Martin, and Ward 1 Councilor John Turco. Thank you for being here. It's a great privilege to welcome all of you to the Peter A. Turigian Senior Center. More than 25 years after it was built by my predecessor, Mayor Peter Turigian, our senior center continues to be a hub of activity for thousands of older residents and continues to be the envy of the entire region. I say this all the time, and it's true. Not a month goes by without a city or town manager or another mayor calling to find out what we do here and how we were able to accomplish it. This really is the envy of the North Shore, and I'm very proud to have the senior center here in the city of Peabody. Not only is it a state-of-the-art facility with world-class amenities, but it is home to some truly wonderful people who provide an array of important services to our seniors. From transportation to meals to social services to our Adult Day Health Center, this senior center and the dedicated staff and volunteers who work here are a big part of what makes Peabody so special. And chief among the reasons why Peabody was just recently designated an age-friendly community by the World Health Organization and the AARP of Massachusetts. I want to recognize our outstanding director of the Peabody Council on Aging, Carolyn Wynn, and I know we have a number of other officials here today. Carolyn Wynn does an outstanding job running our senior center and overseeing the various programs and services. And I'm going to ask Carolyn to say a few words in a moment. But today we recognize the importance of the state's Mobility Assistant Program, which helps cities like Peabody provide the outstanding transportation services that we offer to our seniors and to those with disabilities. Suffice to say that without this grant and a generous contribution from the Friends of the Peabody Council on Aging, we simply could not provide the transportation services which benefit so many in our city. And I want to recognize some members of the Friends of the Peabody Council on Aging who have joined us today, and thank you for all your ongoing commitment to our transportation program. I hope I don't miss everybody, but I think I have mostly everyone's name. But I want to first recognize the president of our Friends Board, Bill Toomey. Thank you, Bill. Mike Zellin, our vice president. Hey, Mike. Jerry Jenkins, the treasurer of the board. Jerry. Other board members, Russ Bowden, who is a longtime president. Mr. Bowden, thank you. Kay DeMore, Ellen Hardy, Chief Joe Mendonça, Mr. and Mrs. Edry, and Dottie Bonfanti. And I wanted to recognize Dottie Bonfanti. the wife of former Mayor Michael Bonfanti. Thank you, Dottie, for being here. A couple other people I wanted to mention. We also have a Council on Aging board that does terrific work for the city of Peabody. Natalie Mega, I'd ask you to stand, Natalie. And I wanted to mention, and the Lieutenant Governor, I mentioned her earlier, but I'm very proud to have Jackie Tirigian here, the widow of the late great Mayor Peter Tirigian. She serves on the Council on Aging in a variety of ways for the city of Peabody. And Jackie, thank you for being here and supporting us. These beautiful new vans do more than just transport people from place to place. They help our residents stay connected to their friends, their family, and all aspects of day-to-day life. These vans will make countless trips to supermarkets, doctors' offices, shopping malls, and special community events. And in doing so, they enable the fastest growing segment of Peabody's population, those 65 and older, the opportunity to continue their vital contributions to our community. And for that, we all benefit. Again, thank you for being here, and I wanted to invite Carolyn Wynn, our director, to come up and say a few words. Carolyn, I hope I didn't just put you on the spot.
Thank you. I'll be very brief, but first I'd like to thank Governor Baker and his administration for their support of senior services. It was exciting to us in the field of aging that in January, at the State of the Commonwealth address, that the governor mentioned, seniors staying active, vital, healthy, and for us that was wonderful. And then furthermore, to hear that he signed an executive order establishing a governor's council to address aging in Massachusetts. And I don't think any of us had ever heard that before, so I think that's just commendable by their administration. So just a round of applause for that. We've actually been very fortunate in Peabody because I think certainly the previous mayors, Mayor Betancourt and all the city council have always understood that a strong senior center is important to a community. It's a vital part of the community, and it's certainly, with the support that we've received, we've been able to do some extraordinary things. Working with seniors has been our passion and the passion of the staff involved at the senior center. I just want to thank all of the staff, the drivers, and I'd especially like to thank Kathy Tassinari, who's our transportation coordinator, because it doesn't just happen. A lot of work goes into that. So. Many of the services that we really focus on was brought to light by the Older Americans Act, and I think certainly transportation is our cornerstone of that act. And about 80% of the funding, as I said, comes from the state, the 20% from the Friends. And we have a wonderful Friends organization that really understands our mission to keep seniors independent and healthy. And of course, like I said, the city funding. So purchasing these vans has allowed us to have one of the biggest fleets at any council on aging. And the city council and the mayor, in supporting paying for the fuel and the maintenance for the vehicles, all together brings a package to have a very strong transportation system, and we're very thankful for that. So we do certainly appreciate the grant money that we receive. I just wanted to tell folks, each year we provide about 50,000 trips a year, rides a year to seniors and people that have disabilities in Peabody. So I think that's quite a bit of work. We have those 10 vans on the road every day, and grants like this have allowed us to continue the operation. So I just want to thank you for a favorable request on the vans, and I do want to invite everybody. We do have some refreshments, and if anybody would like to take a tour of the senior center, we'd love to be able to show it off a bit. So anyway, thank you very much, and we just appreciate everything.
Thank you. That brings our speaking program to a conclusion. We'd now like to proceed to a group photo with Lieutenant Governor Polito and your city officials. So we're going to move the podium and we'll take a big group photo, and please stay back to take a look at the vans and take a tour of the vans themselves. Thank you everyone for coming this afternoon.